Alright, we are back with another Lost Sector guide on Legend. I think we're about halfway done with these for the season, so we're starting off with Titan. This is for the Veles Labyrinth. If you're not a Titan, don't worry, skip ahead. I've got the other classes ready to go for you. But yeah, we're starting on Titan here. We're going Molten Colossus. This is the build that I came out with a few weeks back. You can copy this build if you want. If you want a full video guide, I will include it up in the top 40 right now. You can go click on that. But this Lost Sector, I really don't like. I'm going to make it very clear in this video how much I don't like it. You have to use these hive runes or glyphs kind of surrounded around the area to open up these green doors. This first area isn't bad, but the third group of glyphs that you have to shoot are random in location, so you just have to do that extra little bit of running around that you shouldn't have to do in something like a Lost Sector where you're farming it. But that A location there is always going to be the same. It's always going to be right there. So once you see this A, just turn around to that group of enemies that I just shot at. Then we're going to hug the right wall the entire time. Just run all the way around, otherwise you will get lost, I promise. But we're going to run until we see this green door with the A and the O symbols here, and this is where things can get kind of random. Those cursed thrall are always going to pop up there. This O was right in that spot. And everywhere I'm running, the A or the O can appear on any location, so it's impossible to show all of them, but they're always going to be in this room here. You're never going to have to venture back to those starting areas. So you'll see here I'm just kind of running around to the possible locations that it would be, and I think, if I remember correctly here, I ran in a circle because I missed one, but you can see one of them unlocked there because I was able to shoot one. And I think to my right there, that is one location that it could be. I just passed it. This other room has two locations that it could be in. One is going to be on the wall to my left right now, which it looks like it just exploded and blew up right there. The other one will be on the other side of that room that I was just in. Very difficult to show how this works, but if you spend long enough in this area, you'll learn the locations decently quickly. So as we go down this long tunnel, that's when you know you're about to exit this maze area, or labyrinth, I guess I should call it. But we have some thrall here, and then one barrier champion is going to... he will chase you up here, so I like to not exit this area just to be safe. I mean, if you don't care about dying, that's fine. But I'm going to hang back just a little bit here. We can play it kind of aggressively because we are on the Solar Titan. We're going to utilize those Syntheseps as often as possible to do tons of damage with that throwing hammer. I brought a sword here. It's not necessary, but it can do a lot of damage. There's a few beefier enemies in here that the sword can work well on, and the Titan is strong enough to be able to withstand all that surrounding damage. But up here we've got a barrier champion, and then an unstoppable champion may or may not spawn in to the right across the way. If it does, you'll want to use those boxes here kind of as cover. You'll see I'm kind of running by them. Just keep the right side covered. But once we get the barrier champion killed, then we can work on this unstoppable across the way. And I brought malfeasance here just because it's fun to use. You can use any fusion rifle you want if you have unstoppable fusion. Whatever you have, it doesn't really matter. I could have jumped across, but the distance that you have to travel from when you stun him over here until you cross over there, most likely this unstoppable is going to be unstunned by the time you get there, so he can kill you very easily. So I just like to take the extra 10 seconds and kill him with malfeasance. It doesn't take that long. And then once we cross here, we'll have two really beefy knights that even with a hammer, it kind of took a while when I was doing this earlier, but this sword makes quick work of them, nice and easy. And then we're off to the boss section. We have this Shrieker here, and that Shrieker can actually shoot you across the way to where we just fought that barrier champion. If that does happen, you can actually take it out from far away if you wanted to play it extra safe. It didn't happen in this case, but we've got one big wizard that spawns in, along with a bunch of acolytes and thrall. Easy to take out with this Solar Titan. And once we take out this wizard, then we're going to get, I believe, another wizard that spawns in. It's just kind of random. We get waves of ads, then another big wizard, and then you'll know you're at the very end. That final boss is going to be just a big ogre that spawns out of this portal here. So you'll want to keep an eye out for that. But right now we just have ads. Those two knights will always spawn out of the right side, and they do have quite a bit of health. And they actually can one-shot you if they both swipe at you at the same time with a sword. It will kill you. So I died by that a couple times in the few runs that I did today to just get a solo flawless footage. But we are clearing out these enemies here slowly but surely, and pretty soon we're going to have the wizard that spawns in with the ogre, and I'm saving my super for that. I probably had enough time to do 2 supers here, but I figured I'd just save it. The throwing hammer does so much damage anyway. But you can see here we're at about 5.5 minutes, and we still, like, just now got the final boss to pop out. So this is not a good lost sector to farm, in my opinion. There used to be a cheese to do this like in 30 seconds. I don't believe that's out because that was like 3 years ago. I haven't even tried it, to be honest, but that is Titan. 550 is our quickest run of the day here. So let's move on to Hunter. Alright, so we are back on Strand Hunter today. Last few days I did Void Hunter. You can definitely use that Void Hunter build. It doesn't really matter. Strand just gets it done a little bit faster. So you'll have more access to the tangles, which with our Whirling Maelstrom, that can clear out enemies very quickly, utilizing with the Quicksilver Storm. But today we have Unstoppable and Barrier, which is a combination we haven't had yet. So we're switching up the weapons just a little bit, but all the aspects, fragments, that stuff stays the exact same. So starting off here, we shot the glyph to open that first green door. Looked at that second green door, but it's blocked. That second glyph that we have to shoot is in this room with the Barrier Knight. Just take that out really quickly, and I'm going to shoot that second glyph right now. Try to throw the tangle at it, but it didn't do anything. But that is that second glyph, and that's going to open up this doorway here for us. And then what we want to do here is hug the right wall the whole time. If you don't do that, you're going to get lost. At least that is my method that I like to use here. It just made it a little bit easier every time, more consistent. But we've got 2 symbols that we have to find now, and this is why I don't like this lost sector at all. First off, it's not very quick. Second off, it's randomized. So these 2 symbols that we have to find are scattered throughout this next zone that we're in now. So you'll see I'm kind of just looking. There's a lot of possible locations that these might be in, but it's never going to be in a previous section that was locked behind a green door, if that makes sense. So it's always going to be in this new area that you're in. Problem is, it's the largest area out of these areas, so it can take quite a while to find, but I'm still running around. I'll try and point out the possible locations that they could be in. So there's a door again, and one could be on my right now. And then there's 2 that are in this room. So one's right there, one's across the way, right where I'm running by right now on my left. So I think, I want to say like 6 or 7 possible locations that all of those glyphs could be in. Almost impossible to show in a video because it would take so many runs to show all their locations. But it's not that bad once you get the layout. And what I'm doing here is hanging back because we've got a Barrier Knight that spawns in. And he will chase you, as you can see. So I grapple there so I can get some woven mail, just some extra protection. But the Whirling Maelstroms do a lot of work. There are quite a few Curse Thrall, regular Thrall that try and make their way to you and pass that Barrier Champion to do more damage. So Whirling Maelstrom just free ad clear for us. And then we're going to have some enemies across the way there on the bottom and top floors, as well as that Shrieker off in the distance. I don't know if you caught it to my upper left. The Shrieker has a chance to start shooting you, even from right here. So that will happen sometimes. And if it does happen and the Shrieker is still shooting at you, you can actually kill it from down below. You're pretty safe there, but as you can see here, it didn't really happen, so I wasn't worried about it. I was able to take out this barrier knight easily along with the other enemies. We should have a wave of cursed thrall coming, or regular thrall, I'm sorry, right there, once we kill that barrier knight. And then one unstoppable ogre is going to show up from right there, and you'll see this really far fusion rifle shot that I'm still able to stun it, which is great. We're going to have to stun a couple times here. You can technically stun, run across, and then get up closer to him to kill him. But by the time you stun him and run all the way across, he's going to be unstunned usually. The window of time is very slight there, so I like to just hang back here. You might as well. It takes 10 more seconds to get the safe clear, and then we are on our way. We should have 2 knights here that can easily be killed by Strand Hunter, but they have quite a bit of health on Legend. And there's that Shrieker that I was talking about. So that's the one that can shoot you from all the way when you're down below on that platform. So it can reach quite a ways. But use this cover to take out that Shrieker. No problem. Grapple if you want some extra woven mail. I probably could have done that there. But this boss fight is annoying, in my opinion. This whole Lost Sector is annoying just with the randomization. There's a lot of waves of enemies here, and they just pour out slowly. They spread out, which makes it take a while to kill them all. And then the next, once you kill all of them, then the next wave will come out. So it's not a fun Lost Sector to farm. I wouldn't suggest doing this if you're looking to run this one like 50 times in a day. There are much better Lost Sectors to do. So with this boss fight, we have one big wizard that's going to spawn out, as you saw at the very beginning. Then we have to wait for more ads to pop in. I like to take out those 2 knights right away, because if they both swipe at you at the same time, that will one-shot you. That actually happened to me today a couple times while I was trying to get footage for this, and it's not fun restarting a long Lost Sector when you're at the end. So take them out quickly. I think we're almost getting to the point where that boss is going to pop out. You can see it's just, the enemies are so spread out. It's not very ad dense, so you can't build up your builds as easily. So you just kind of have to wait here for things to happen. And yeah, I could probably get this done quicker. I could probably shave a couple minutes off if I really practice this Lost Sector. Do I want to do that? Absolutely not. But we're just trying to get the clear today. I popped my super, and you can see that knight had really low health, and we just took it out really quickly. But that is Hunter. Let's move on to Warlock. So we are sticking to the same exact build as we have been for all the other Solar Warlock Lost Sector builds, just your standard Sunbracers build. And you'll see I'm missing some mods. That's actually because Armor Charge is bugged right now. If you have too many mods on your armor, you straight up won't get Armor Charge. You just can't pick up orbs, and Armor Charge makes you more powerful. So it's worth taking off some mods for it. But if that bug is fixed by the time you're watching this video, obviously equip any mods that you want. But you'll see I shot that glyph there. I have this second green wall that's blocking us here. And I show that there. We just turn around, proc our Sunbracers. The next glyph that we have to shoot to unlock that green door is in this room here with the barrier knight. So we'll just take that out really quick, and we can barely see anything with how many solar grenades are out right now. But make sure to get everything reloaded, and there's that A symbol that we have to shoot, and that's going to open up this glyph door. And you'll see why this Lost Sector is my least favorite. We want to hug the right wall the entire time, all the way to the very end, until we get to another green door. And these symbols are going to be randomized in their location. It's always going to be an A and an O that we're looking for. But the location of these symbols is always random. So that's one location that it could be. I'm trying to show you the different locations that I found, but that is one right there, nice and easy. And unfortunately, you just kind of have to run around until you find them all. I will say that, so where I'm shooting there, that is another location there. The symbols will never be, you'll never have to backtrack, if that makes sense. So any door that you've opened so far, any green door, you don't have to go back to like the starting area to find a symbol. It's always going to be in this new area that you unlocked past that door. This room here contains 2. That is the location that I shot right there. So if you ever get stuck, you'll know there's 2 in that room. And if you still can't find them from this video, then I don't know what to tell you. Just look around. Keep running around. You'll learn those spawns as you run this more, but I would not recommend running this more because there's no reason, because this takes a long time. With all the randomization, you get lost. It's not fun. It's easy to die. So this is a horrible lost sector to farm, in my opinion. Used to be great. There used to be a glitch that you can do. I was saying in the hunter section, I'm not sure if you can do that anymore, but I'm pretty sure you can't because that was like 3 years ago. But we are going to proc Sunbracers here. And there will be a barrier champion. It's going to come. He will rush you. He's going to just keep coming up unless you deal with him. So I like to hang back in this tunnel here, easily take him out. You'll see some Cursed Thrall also trying to do some damage, chase us, but we can back up as much as we want. You'll see just how annoying, this is like the epitome of how annoying this lost sector is. Enemies just roll in one by one. Right when you think you're done, just another one will pop in there, and it just makes it frustrating. There's another one. So this next area, we're going to have a case where the Shrieker will start shooting us, that one up to the top left of my screen. We're actually going to take that Shrieker out first. Shrieker doesn't always open up to shoot you, but he did in this case. And I popped my well, perfect timing, right as the Shrieker started to shoot me, so don't feel bad about popping your well. If it helps you stay alive, then do it, but you'll see we're easily able to take out this Shrieker, no problem. And that's actually going to save us some time in that final boss room, because it will wait for us there if we don't take it out now. So we'll take out these lower enemies, and then we have a barrier champion here, and an unstoppable champion that will sometimes shoot us from the right side. It's kind of random on when he spawns in. I'm sure there's a way to determine when he does spawn in, but for me it seemed like it's kind of random. Those Thrall will spawn in, and that's the only wave that will spawn in, but we can easily take out everything with Sunbracers here. And you'll see I almost died again. I'm looking for that unstoppable, seeing if it's there. Just take these slow and steady. We're just going for the clear here. If you really need the exotic for today, then you can run this as much as you want, but I absolutely despise this lost sector. So there's that unstoppable. You'll see I was kind of using that crate to my right side to block the ogre fire while I was dealing with that barrier. Ogre usually can't get you from back there, but I'm just hanging back using Malfeasance. I said in the other 2 classes so far, but you technically can stun this unstoppable and run all the way over there and then deal with him up close, but there's no reason to do that because usually the timing is once you stun him, you jump all the way over, then he's unstunned. So we might as well just hang back a little bit here and take him out from far away. But we've got 2 knights in this next area. I'm trying to do my best to proc Sunbracers here. These guys have quite a bit of health, and they can do a lot of melee damage to you, so just keep your distance. But you'll see we took out that Shrieker, so we don't have to deal with it now. And then the portal should spawn in. There it is. And we're going to have a round of wizards, or one wizard that spawns in, then a bunch of enemies, then another wizard spawns in along with the main boss, which is just a big knight. The reason I don't like this lost sector very much is enemies kind of spread out to where there's only 2 to 3 nearby for this area, so you can't really proc your builds as often. It's not very fun, and it just takes a long time. In this next wave, we're going to have 2 knights come out of the right side. These yellow bar knights, if they both swipe at you at the same time, it actually one-shotted me once, so just be mindful of that. They tend to have the same movement patterns, so if you see them both swiping at you, you don't want that to happen. We'll take out what we can here with Sunbracers. yet again. Wait for the next wave to spawn in. I know this is boring. We're almost at 7 minutes. Final boss still hasn't spawned in. And I unfortunately hit the sword on the Well of Radiance there, so I wasn't able to get any Sun Bracers going. And I guess while we're waiting for me to clear this here, just a reminder that you don't need to use any of the weapons that I have, like specific weapons. Use what you have. Obviously you want to have something that has Unstoppable, something with Barrier, and Auto Rifle is perfect for that. But you don't have to have Malfeasance, it's just a good weapon to use. If you don't have it, I would say go grab it because it's a really fun weapon, got buffed this season, or sorry, last season with its Catalyst. And it handles unstoppable champions intrinsically, which is great. But we're just going to take out this boss with a machine gun. Easiest strat in the game. And we can pop another well here. But this is just about going to do it for the Veles Labyrinth. I hope these are helping you out. I know it's not the most exciting content, but if it can help someone get these done, just because I know people have been having trouble, then it's worth it to me to help anyone out. And that is it for this one. I will see you all in the Discord or in the next video.